Welcome to the third tutorial on the VEMBU database. Today we'll be covering how to add tag metadata. Go ahead and open up your copy of the VEMBU. At this point, you should have already customized your variables and enabled your macros in tutorial 1 and also added your equipment in tutorial 2. You will notice that tags are not referenced in the top tabs. That's because the VEMBU can function independently from tag metadata. However, we did this for ease in using the fact node. At the end of the tutorial, I'll show you how to print the tag metadata form that could be directly adjusted by the node. On the left-hand side, under Forms, go ahead and double-click Tag List. A new tab opens. All the tags that you have entered will show up in this box down here. We don't have anything entered right now, so it's blank. We're going to go ahead and select New Tag. A very, very long form opens up. It's very long to accommodate different groups that record different information, but variables that are mandatory for the tag metadata form are marked with an asterisk, like here. The project shortcode is the tagging project shortcode from the Customize Your Variables form. Remember, this code is different from your array shortcode. Array equals receivers, tagging equals tags. Go ahead and drop down and I can select one of the two tagging project shortcodes that I've already entered. Again, a drop down and I can select who the tag owner PI is, as well as the organization. The animal ID is not mandatory, but maybe you like to name the fish after an angler or supporter, whatever you want. Say we named the fish that. Tag type is defaulted to acoustic, but you can change it. Again, tag manufacturer, most of the time is probably going to be VEMBU, but if you have tags from another manufacturer, you can go ahead and enter that here. The tag model is pretty self-explanatory. You can get this from your spec sheets. The tag code space is essentially the first part of the full tag ID. It is not unique. You probably have a series of tags that all share the same part of the code. And the tag ID code is the unique part of it. So for our example, we'll just put in that tag ID code. And tag ID code standard, that's the full thing put together, is automatically calculated. The serial number for the tag, and if you don't know this, you can go to your spec sheets or you can ask VEMBU. Just make something up. And estimated tag life. Basically, what is the battery life of that tag? Now, if you have a fancy schmancy tag and you have sensors built into it, say temperature or pressure, then you can fill that out here as well. And we're going to tell what type. And we do have a fancy schmancy tag, so we're going to have both. Tag activation date, the format is year, month, day. This is really, it's actually really useful for a more accurate depiction of your potential expiration date. Although traditionally people will calculate that based on deployment, but this is probably a better date to use it, but you can look at when that tag was activated. Another way to think of tag activation date is essentially the date that you took the magnet off the tag. At this point, if the tag has not been deployed, you can select Save and New. This is a good method if you want to get ahead of the game and enter the tag specs before actually deploying the tags. Let's pretend that this is the case. So I've just entered the tag specs, I've hit Save and New and say I'm done for the day. So I'm going to go ahead and close it. Because I have not shut down and reopened the VEMBU, the tag is not automatically showing up here. So very easily, since we're going to continue on with this example, I can just hit refresh. And again, there is the tag that I've already entered. So I've gone out in the field and now I've deployed the tag and I need to enter in animal and surgery information. So I can go ahead and select Open next to the tag. And I'm automatically opened up to the window with that tag information. Starts here, well, what implant type is it? So we're going to go ahead and go with an internal, but this could be an external employment. The deployment type, this is important for being able to distinguish what are mistakes in accidentally putting in the same tag ID code twice, or what's original and then a redeployment. So right now, this is going to be an original deployment. Capture location is freeform text. Capture latitude and longitude are in decimal degrees. And if you have a separate release location, release latitude, and release longitude, if it's the same between capture and release, the release location is more important than the capture location. The node actually uses the latitude and longitude to help discriminate between identical tag IDs. Release date time is in a year, month, day, with the letter T. I realize it's pretty small up there. Hour, minute, second. This format, which you can read down here, this will be used for all of your deployments and retrievals for a date time that's combined. So that error message that came up is because I accidentally put SS instead of seconds. Now, if I don't put in the full date, so say I just put in, or if I put it in with a different format, so I've just done 1117, it is going to change it to the format for me, and it's going to default it to midnight if you don't add in a time. For the time zone, that's defaulted to Eastern, but if you record in UTC, that's great. I mean, obviously UTC is usually preferred, but however you want to do this is fine. Again, I can drop down who actually did the tagging on the boat, and my expiration date is automatically calculated for me. Down here, I can add in any sort of comments I want about the surgery, say, or in any sort of, say, anything that you want in the comments that's useful to you. Pretty intuitive. We can have the drop down of what the common and scientific name is. Here we have places for the standard length, the fork length, and you only have to fill in whatever is applicable to you, what normally you take, and then you're going to want to add in what your unit of measurement is. So here we'll say, that'd be a really small fish. Okay, put it in meters. Weight, if you happen to take a weight. Again, life stage, sex, all of these things are optional that you can fill in. The one where you can I'll go over how to edit data, but we can also put in a harvest date here. So if you know the date that that tag was harvested, that's a nice piece of information so that you can you're able to kick out any detections after that harvest date, or to know when you should, if it was a redeployment, when the first fish tag basically ends and it's redeployed and the other one begins. We also have additional animal information and additional tag information, and this is really just to help customize it for you. So based on your customized variables, remember these are the different types of samples that we put in there. So if we put, say, with DNA, and then however you tend to label your DNA samples, and again, you can just keep going down. And there are 3 spots for samples, and there are 2 spots for other length types. When you are done filling out this form to your satisfaction, you can go ahead and hit Save and New, and then close. Just to point out again, this kind of base of the form is going to give you a little bit of information about all the tags that you've entered. So your tag, your code for full tag for the code, your short code, what type of deployment type is it, the common name, the release date and time, if you had a harvest date, and if the tag is expired or not. Now I told you with the form, so these reports are formatted so that they can be directly fed into the node, or how we have been sharing data in the FACT network. So if I go up here and click Run Report, it's going to format this in a way that can be directly ingested. If you want to bind your report by date, so say running report will run a report on all of your tags. Otherwise, up here, I can do a from and a to date for deployment. So I want to produce a form that only has tags that from the last month. Then I could put in a date up here and a date down here, and then run the report. We only have 1 tag in, so it wouldn't be extremely awesome to do, so we're just gonna hit Run Report. This is the default view and how to look at it. This isn't necessarily useful in how to share, but we can go right out here to Excel. You can go straight to email. It won't let you name the file at that point, but you can go to Excel. So here it's going to automatically assign a name. If I was doing this for data sharing reasons, I might want to put something identifying with it. And then if it was bound by dates, maybe I would put the dates in it. And then you can browse, save it wherever you want on your computer, and click OK. And you can click close here. All right, we can go ahead and close this tab. And you can navigate to that Excel file that was just saved wherever you happen to save it. I have already opened it just for sake of time, and so this is what the output looks like. Again, this is already in the formatted, so you can email this to data@thefactnetwork.org so that this can be uploaded into the communal list and into the node. All right, and that is it for entering tag metadata. Thank you very much, and stay tuned for the next tutorial.